Hey guys, Alex here. It's Friday evening, it's getting pretty late, and I just finished tidying up the yard for the day. And I thought as I was just packing stuff away, I'll do you guys a quick workshop tour of our line marking systems, what we're using, and I'll keep it real brief. So if we start right here, shall we? So these are Graco line laser systems. These are what we use to apply our MMA paint. So if you look in the top here, this is a white MMA, and we spray these on. So these are fantastic for concrete surfacing, and it's just sprayed out of the tip of the gun here. So we use the triggers on the back here, and yep, got a little wheel on the front so we can release that off the brake here, and then we just use the trigger to actuate the guns. So these sort of systems we use for external line marking, predominantly on concrete surfacing. Next to that, we have one of our dryers. Now, this is a brand new dryer we've just got in from Graco. This is the new Hammerjet dryer. And what's great about this one is we don't have any flames, unlike the traditional dryers, which are these ones here. So these are your HCA Lancers, which will have a propane tank on the back, an air compressor, and a generator on the front. And then what you do with these ones, obviously, turn on the gas, and then you have the lance itself, which is what you use to dry your surfacing. You can also use these to remove lines. This is a small one, so on the back of the lorries, that's where you have the large compressors, and you'll really use that for line removal. This one's predominantly just for drying. But we moved to Graco last week, so this is the brand new Hammerjet. So it features a turbine engine instead of the open flame. So if I just drop this down for you, I'll show you if I pull the plug out. So inside here, you'll just see the little fan turbine of a mini sort of jet engine. And this thing is incredible. It dries surfaces so quickly, so efficiently, without any flames, without danger to the operators. It's quieter than the HCA Lancers, it's faster, it's safer, and it can be operated by one man instead of 2 or 3 with the HCAs. Next to that behind, we have, this is another line marking machine, the same as this one, but this one's actually a battery-powered one. It's called an ES1000, and it does exactly the same job. The main difference, obviously, between these, obviously, this one's petrol for outdoor use, whereas this one is battery-powered for indoor use. So that's great if we're doing a single pack epoxy or something on an internal floor. It's a fantastic machine for that. Same operation. All of ours are laser guided systems. So you'll see the green dot on the wall. We use these along our string lines so that we can see where we're going, and we literally just follow the green lasers. So they're fantastic. We've got them on these ones as well. What you will notice on the top of this one is got an automatic bead dispenser as well, but we don't really use that. We prefer to bead by hand. Moving swiftly along, this one is an overmarking machine because we do an awful lot of grass and field overmarking as well as AstroTurf, and that's what this one here. That's manufactured by Fleet, and absolutely brilliant. What you can see on it here is a boom. The arms fold out, and that's used for marking running tracks, so you can do 3 lanes at a time. Next to it, this is for internal taping. Let me get a closer look here. So this one here, we put the tape on the side as it rolls forward, applies the tape on these wheels, and just helps for marking out. So it's for initial set out, specifically for internal works. And then we just have a small sort of directional arrow thing that we can use here just to line guide ourselves. Next to that, this one's a GPS line marking machine. So it's got this arm on the side, and what happens is the arm comes out, and it stops us from painting any lines in wonky at all. We use this one again for schools in particular, where we're setting out new running tracks, athletics, or whatever it might be, football, rugby. This one's all programmed off a GPS and an iPad, and we just program in what we're painting, and makes it absolutely amazing. The one at the back, obviously, is the dryer we just looked at. This is a line grinder. This thing is for removing lines. So if ever we've got thermoplastic or any sort of paints on the ground that we need to remove, and I can show you a little bit here what it looks like. These are sort of carbide tipped flails that they're fitted with, and that's what we use to remove the lines. So I appreciate it doesn't look too hefty here, but these carbide tip flails will remove absolutely anything we throw at them. They are incredible. The one that's on it at the moment is a different type of flail for a different type of paint, because we were trialing some new paints here. So this is down at our landscaping end of the farm. So we were just painting on some lines on the floor, and then we were looking at removal techniques to see best ways of getting them up, really, making sure that, you know, we can get them up, we can get them safely, quickly, and just finding out what works best. Next, we have this thing here. This hasn't been used, believe it or not. This is brand new today. We got this delivered from BTEC along with our thermoplastic machines at the back. So essentially, these ones have a propane tank sits on the back here, and then you have different sort of shoes that go in the bottom. Shoes are how well, it's a tool that we use to set the line width. So you'll go, a standard might be a 2-inch, a 4-inch, or an 8-inch. And in fact, I can show you what the shoes look like over here. So this is our brand new setup from BTEC. Let me just open up. And these are the shoes that go on. So you can see the hole here, and the paint passes through, just opens up at the back on here, and that's what drops the paint on the floor for us. So paint passes through this hole. This shoe opens up, as you can just see the sort of small gap there, and that passes the paint through onto the floor. And we typically apply these for blacktop, tarmac, asphalt, whatever you want to call it. Any sort of bitumen-based surface, we use hot thermoplastic. So this particular machine hasn't been run yet. We literally just took delivery this afternoon. So this one's got the twin 20-gallon boilers on with the electric start on the generator, and hydraulic pumps around the front. Let me show you here. So nice, easy sort of key switch to start up, and ready to go. We turn on the boilers. These heat up to around about 200 degrees Celsius. And then at the back, that's where we can open up, and our paint comes out of these chutes at the back. Now that's predominantly installed using either the hand screeds, which are these. So you pour the paint in using a zinc jug, and as you, excuse the noise, drag it along the floor, that'll give you your nice straight line. The bit on the back, this is just for keeping them warm. So if instead of using hand screeds, the other option we have is the screed barrows. So these barrows hold 10 gallons in each barrow. They have a propane tank that goes on the back. And all we do with that is literally walk along, and you open the chute, and yeah, paint's on the ground for you. There's a line guide system on the front, as you can see just here. Again, just so that we can follow those streamlines we put in. Quickly moving on, next we have this machine we took delivery of last month. This is a shot blasting system, and it's what we use for internal line marking. So if I lift up inside, this one's a little bit low on shot here. So if I open up, I'll show you basically what it is and how it works. We have got another video on the website if you guys want to check out shot blasting to see how it works in a bit more detail, and actually watch some in action. But this here, I don't know if you can quite see, fires these tiny steel ball bearings at the ground. And again, we get different shoes that go inside. So the shoes look like these, and that just sets the gauge of our lines as well. So once we've done our line marking, our shot blasting, inside, you know, the machinery has a tendency to drop a few of the steel balls on the floor, and that can become a trip hazard, and we don't want that. So we have this magnetic brush. So as you can see here, there's sort of a little bit of dust on the floor, but not a great deal. As you pull the handle up, it just moves the magnet out of the way, and now you'll see it's got metal on the floor. These are the steel ball bearings that we fire out of the machine. So as they're scattered on the floor like this, it'll pick up anything metallic, basically, that you can see. All we do is we walk this over, and in one pass, as you can see, we've collected everything that we've just thrown on the floor again. So fantastic bit of machinery, and we use that for internal line marking. Also with that, we've obviously got the vacuum system, 3-phase generating systems that go with that as well. And we use a different paint for internal. So our internal paint's provided by Velivine, and this is a 2-part paint. So the first part is the paint, sort of pigment, if you like. The second part is our hardener. So we mix these up together and we get a pot life of around 20 minutes. We mix them up and we apply them again using extrusion for these ones. We do have an internal sprayable paint. If I take you over this side, it's our sort of paint corner, if you like. This is a 2-part internal paint. So we mix them up and they're ready to go on the ground. This is also an acrylic line marking paint. Again, it's a 2-part, so you're putting down a hardener first, then the paint on top. This one you mix it all in together. So different system. These ones are roll coat systems, so that's what you would use for sort of applying by hand with the roller, really. If you're looking for zebra crossings or something like that and you want them to really, really stand out, roll coating is the way to go for that one. Next, of course, we have thermoplastic preformed. So these are actually zebra crossing pads. I appreciate they don't, you can see my hand in the reflection, in the shadow, sorry. I appreciate they don't look that amazing on their own at the moment, but that's actually going to be installed for Amazon next week as part of a new zebra crossing they're having installed. So here's some other bits here. This is the green section. So this is going to be in pride colors for them. So it's going to look absolutely amazing, and I'll do another video on that one. The rest of the stuff in the background, as you can see, different paints. So this is MMA paints, glass beads, different colors of MMAs. These are your thermoplastics, and that's the sort of paint we use in these machines here. So the thermoplastic we use comes from Graco markings, and you basically lift this up, lift it up into here, and just drop the entire thing into here, and then we use these just to set the direction on the hydraulic pump here. So we're turning the arms inside and mixing that paint up. I think that's pretty much it for this side of the workshop. I say just a quick tour, though I realize it's gone on nearly 15 minutes. The paint systems I was just going to mention on the MMAs, there are 2 parts as well. So inside the machine we saw some of the paint, but what's also worth seeing are the beads, you see, because it's a 2-part, drop that there. We apply the paint using the line marking machine, but we apply the glass bead by hand. And the glass beads we use are coated with a hardener. And as they go on, if you can just see here, this is what gives its reflectivity. So as you pull into your parking spaces at night, you want them to sort of reflect back, and that's how we do it. We use small bits of glass like this, absolutely safe. It's exactly what we're supposed to use on it, and it's also coated with a hardener, so that's how the MMA paints dry. And these paints are imported through, well, they come from Holland, actually. We have to get them imported there. So if you guys need any paints at all, Fiona Wing at Graco Markings and Martin Leach at Velivine, they will be the guys you want to talk to. Lastly, it's sort of stencils and bits and pieces, because I see lots of other people do freehand and they do an amazing job. Personally, I like stencils because they're accurate every single time, and I make sure the guys use those. This side of it is more the landscaping sort of gear. So we've got different landscaping gear for schools, businesses, etc. And then we have the trailer park thing around the back. And then just some workbench bits out the front here. So this is the other little side, and any junk that I've left lying around, motorbikes and bits and bobs. I'm quite into my bikes. In fact, I've come out this evening on my new Triumph, and let me just show you the very last bit. I'm going to turn the lights on because it is getting a little bit dark. Let me just flick these on for you. All right, ready to pack this up and go home. I'll show you real quick. So This is the new salt stores that we've just built over here. As you can see, we're in quite a big sort of farm enclosure. A lot of space, which is fantastic because we do an awful lot of different services. These are some of the bags, the ton bags that we've had delivered, and they are about to go into our new salt stores, which we've just finished building this week. So that's literally just gone up this week, fitted the roof on, lighting, everything's ready to go. So we're starting to fill this now with all of our salts. And when we're done, this should hold around 200 tons of salt all in for us. You'll see some of the other gritting equipment at the back. I will do another video on the gritting because obviously the gritting season's coming up. We have an awful lot of stuff on the gritting. So we've got snow plows, we've got some of the smaller gritters, and it might be a little too dark, but I'll take you around the front to the trailer park, show you some of the other gritters we use. So these 1 ton bags you see over my shoulder, we've just got to put them under there now. And I don't know what that alarm is. We're changing from the 1 ton bags, obviously, and we're moving to sort of open loads on the lorry, so that I think they can do 28 tons per tip for us at a time, whereas when we go for the 1 ton bags, we only get 22, I think, on the lorry. It's all they can fit in terms of pallet space. So we should get more salt per delivery, reduce our delivery costs, reduce our material costs. We can pass it on to the clients, provide a better service at a lower cost. And this is around the back, and pretty sure this is the farm here. So we just had to, some of these trees were getting so overgrown, like you can see this side up here, they run all the way around. So we are just taking some of them down because, yeah, you can see how big they are. And when it was getting really windy a couple of months back, we had one collapse and took out the building, the roof on the back of the shed here. So not ideal. So this is in the trailer park sort of area. It's where we park everything ready to go out. So this is a window cleaning machine. We do some high level windows up to 40 feet with these. We've got more gritters at the back on these trailers. We have a couple of more smaller gritters that go on the back of the pickups, as well as some other trailed gritters, such as the Vale VS 1700, which we're just waiting for at the moment, some new hill tip gritters, some Polar One gritters, an Econ gritter. These ones are Salt Dog gritters. We've got Mayer for snow plows, a real mix of equipment and technologies. And I think, you know, that's the sort of the way I like it. It's same with the line marking, mowing equipment, whatever we're doing. I like a bit of a mix of technologies because you never know what's going to be right, what works best, and sometimes you just got to try it all. So apart from that, I think that is pretty much a workshop tour. Sorry it's taken 20 minutes. Actually, it turns out there's more here than I thought. And yeah, all right.